Hi, this is Dave Kemick of the CIST Student Help website, and in this example I'm going to show you how to create a simple contact form for your website. So as you can see here, I've set up a table, and we have values for the first name, last name, email, subject, and message. These are all just text fields. We also have a send button down at the bottom, and a label which will tell the user that the email was successfully sent after they click the send button. Up here we also have some required field validators so that the user knows that they have to fill these out before they can submit, and even a regular expression validator so that they can't enter an invalid email when they submit the form. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the code behind here. And as always, we're going to start from the top. So before we can get started, we need two import statements, system.web.mail and system.text. System.web.mail is fairly obviously it's for the email message, and system.text is for some of the string concatenation we do later on in the example. So down here at the button1_click function, this is the actual code that will be fired when the user clicks our send button. We start off by declaring a string, and what this string will do is it'll hold the body of our email. So first we just add a little from text. This is just a simple string, and then we add firstname.text, which is our first name field. We put a space there, and then we do lastname.text, so that when the email is sent, it will be formatted in such a way that the first line will say from space first name space last name. So we get an idea of who the email was sent from. And next we do something called an environment new line. So that will tell the message that this next bit of information will be on a new line. So next we do the same thing. We just add a little email notifier there, and then we grab the contents of email.text, and again we add environment new lines, and so on and so forth. You can kind of see how that works down the line. Okay, so now we have the body of our email, and we need to create an actual new system.net.mail.smtp client, which tells the code behind here how this email is going to be sent. So we go ahead and declare that here, and I named mine MM just for brevity's sake, but you can name it whatever you would like. And the first thing I'm doing here is enabling SSL, because I'm going to actually use Gmail as an example here. You can use whatever you would like, and in some cases you might not need to use enable.ssl, but in this case we do. And I'm going to go ahead and tell MM what the host is. So here is our SMTP server, smtp.gmail.com. And we also have to give some credentials so that the host knows who we are and that we're valid to send emails. So I dim a new system.net.network credentials, and I call it cred. And the first field here will be your login or your username. I'm just giving example at gmail.com. And the second value here is our password. Again, example password. So next we tell our mail message here that this is our credentials here are going to be the credentials for this mail message, and we tell it to go ahead and send using those credentials. So this first value here is the actually our email field. So if I switch back here, whoops. So if I switch back to our form, that's going to be the value that was here. So this will be the actual user's email. So that's who it's from. This is who the message will be sent to. This will be the subject of the message, and we pull that from our field on our contacts table here. So that will be pulled from this box. And finally, we give it the body string here, so that will be the body of our message. Next, we call a function that I've created down below called clearfields, and I'll talk about that in just a second. We also have our label, which I spoke about on the web form, and we set the forecolor of that to green. We could have also done that on the web form itself by going to the properties box over here and setting the forecolor, but sometimes I just like to do it in the code behind, because you may need to set up an exception and you want the color to be red if there's an error, or green if there's a successfully sent message, so I just do it in the code behind. So we do label email.forecolor equals drawing.color.green. We set the text, and so here we're just telling them that their message was successfully sent. And finally, because we don't want this to be shown before the user has submitted the email, it's set to visible equals false here on the web form, so that it doesn't show when the page is first loaded. So then now that the email has been sent, we go ahead and tell it to change that to visible equals true so that it is shown. And last but not least, at the bottom of the page is our function clear fields. And all this does is it goes through the various fields and clears them out so there's no more text in them. As you can see, these are all the fields that are on the web form. First name, last name, email, subject, message, and so on. So that all the fields will be cleared out, and then the form is back to square one. So that's just a quick example of creating a contact form with VisualBasic.net. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.